Recently we uploaded a video all about Gran Turismo 7 and how we hope it will have a dynamic weather system as well as a new damage model. It's safe to say the video did fairly well, but what we liked most was the responses some of you left in the comments. Some were very constructive, others were less so, but overall there were some really good ideas that I wanted to come back and revisit. I'm Mark from Racing Games, and today I'm here to talk to you once again about Gran Turismo 7's new dynamic weather system and damage model. Now a quick disclaimer, what I'm going to talk about today is pure speculation and opinion. Despite some teasers from Polyphony in the latest gameplay trailer, there is still no official confirmation that either of these features are making it into the game, so take everything I say today with a huge pinch of salt. Alright, that's the backside covering over, now let's get on with the video. In the original video, I suggested the idea to include a toggle switch in the game's settings for both dynamic weather and damage, so as to make it the player's choice as to whether these features appear in the game or not. Possibly adding a toggle switch to both weather and damage in the settings will help keep the casual racers happy, whilst providing a more realistic experience for the sim racing community. This is a suggestion that a lot of you in the comments picked up on, and with good reason. No one wants an endurance race spoiled by a damaged splitter on the final lap, and likewise a sudden downpour will ruin even the most seasoned pro's race. A toggle switch for both settings would be the perfect solution to this problem. If you fancy a more realistic race, then by all means flick on damage and weather. If you're on your 10th attempt to win that really hard race that you're always leading until the AI sends it up the inside on the final corner, breaking your rear suspension and sending you into the gravel, then maybe it's time to turn damage off. If you're slipping all over the track like Bambi on ice, then let's get rid of that pesky dynamic weather, shall we? By making it the player's choice, Polyphony can cater to all demands. A few of you in the comments correctly pointed out that most car manufacturers don't want to see their pride and glory destroyed in a game, and therefore Polyphony had to sacrifice damage in order to obtain licenses. This is something I touched on in the video, but only briefly. Now again, we don't know the exact reason as to why the damage model has been lacking, but it could be something to do with car manufacturers not wanting their prized vehicles to be shown getting dented or destroyed in a high-speed impact. Some of you were very passionate about why damage should not be in the game, and to be honest, it's very hard to argue against your points, so I agree that the game both should and shouldn't have damage as well as dynamic weather. So how do you fix that problem? Oh yeah, you make switches. So to be clear, when I talked about dynamic weather, I was referring to a weather system that changes unpredictably during a race. A race where it rains throughout is not dynamic weather. Neither is an all-night race or an all-day race for that matter. What I was stating in the original video was a race that starts off with bright sunshine in the late afternoon that slowly gets more overcast as the race goes on until a downpour in the final few laps. Again, think about this year's Russian Grand Prix for example. The unpredictability in weather would make the race far more interesting, whilst a race that can cycle through day and night would add realism to endurance races. Again, this should be an option that can be turned off for those who wish to race without it, but I would love to see something like this in Gran Turismo. Dynamic weather has existed in the series before, and has been successfully included in the F1 games, not to mention the Forza series, so if the competition can do it, why shouldn't Polyphony bring it back too?
以前だったらこれ CG かなって分かっちゃったような絵がやっぱり全く CG に見えなくなってくる。それがレートで
If there's one thing the comment section of the original video highlighted, it's that no one can quite agree on anything to do with Gran Turismo 7. Some of you want dynamic weather, some of you don't. Some of you think a new damage model is a great idea, others think it will kill the series. Some of you agreed with me when I said Gran Turismo had the best physics model in sim racing. Most told me to go play Assetto Corsa and see how wrong I am. On that one, by the way, I have played Assetto Corsa, and the physics must be bad because I kept crashing. Either that or I'm bad. Nah, it must be the physics model. Ow. Ow. Bye-bye windscreen. The point is, there's no right or wrong answer, and that's why we're anticipating a choice as to whether to race with damage and weather or not. We don't know for sure yet, but it's what we'd like to see, and judging by the reaction to the last video, a fair amount of you would like to see it too. We will of course update you as soon as we have an answer, but for now, I've been Mark from Racing Games, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Gran Turismo 7, and now I'm off to prepare myself for the next round of comments. Please be nice. Please.